son is vicious. I got you playing jazz every day. That's what's up. Salute to you, bro. Yes, sir. I love jazz. Yo, Lord Crimson in the building. Supreme Being in the building. Probably about to lose my signal right here. So don't go nowhere. I'll be back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Salute to everybody. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Salute to y'all this morning. I know I'm like a day late, but I'm never a dollar short, y'all. Never a dollar short. Anyway, do I play any instruments? Not yet. I want to play the bass, though. I feel like I'll be good at the upright bass. That is my dream instrument, so I'm going to start learning how to play the upright bass. Real Eyes and Even, salute to you, bro. Good morning, everybody. Yes, sir. How y'all doing? I know I was supposed to do this live stream yesterday, but good morning. Good morning, Six. Good morning, Minor Mansa Musa, Lord Crimson in the building. Flying Guillotine. The bass is fun. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I plan on learning how to play that. So I'm going to get me an upright acoustic bass, and I will be. I'll probably be chronicling my journey. Typical liberal lives. We'll see about that. Listen, y'all. I'm supposed to do this live stream yesterday, and obviously, since this dropped, there have been a lot of takes that I want to touch on a little bit. So I'm glad I waited a little bit, man. As you guys know, the Democrats in Congress, right? The Oversight Committee or whatever the hell you call it, released some emails. And these emails have to do with Jeffrey Epstein, obviously, right? One email went from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell, and another went from Jeffrey Epstein to Michael Fox. Michael Fox is essentially a reporter who was getting close to Jeffrey Epstein to get all the tea he could, all the information he could surrounding the child sex trafficking ring that Jeffrey Epstein did indeed run. You know, that same trafficking ring that Kash Patel told you involved no one but Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell? Yeah, so Ghislaine Maxwell was recruiting hundreds of girls only for Jeffrey Epstein, but we know that's complete and utter bullshit, right? Well, these emails reference Donald Trump. Now, I don't know, I have no knowledge of the veracity of the emails. We know that they were released by political people, right? We know they were released by political figures, and it's in their best interest to confuse the people and commit psychological operations. And so let's say there is some validity to these emails. One email implicates Donald Trump. It says that he was spending hours with one of the victims, and you know, Donald Trump's Department of Justice told you guys that that victim was Virginia Giuffre, or Giuffre, however you pronounce her name. And of course, we know that this young lady wrote a book. She had a book written for her, basically chronicling her the trauma she went through dealing with Jeffrey Epstein. And she said on multiple occasions that Donald Trump had never touched her, never did anything inappropriate. But they're saying that that's basically the victim. Now, the victim's name was redacted from the email. Okay? So we really don't know who that was. Right? So one email said that Donald Trump spent hours with one of the victims. It doesn't say what he spent hours doing. Right? And then another email basically said that Donald Trump knew about Jeffrey Epstein's dealing in young girls to the elite class, okay? And it talks about how he could use this to leverage, as leverage against Donald Trump, basically to try to help him not get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, right? So here's the thing. It's interesting, the different takes on this, right? So people on the side of Trump are saying this is a nothing burger. And then you got people obviously on the other side, so they present to you, right? They present this dichotomy. Oh, I'm against Trump. I'm for Trump. This is that, right? This is what they want you to believe. Now, y'all know how I feel about the government. Y'all know how I feel about the dog and pony show and the left-right paradigm. Lie, okay? And this is just an extension of that. This is just an example. Now, one says it's a nothing burger, and another says it's a smoking gun. I think it's neither at this point in time, right? Those who say it's a smoking gun, they are manipulating you, right? It's not a smoking gun. A smoking gun would be video evidence, corroborating witnesses. You know, there are a number of things that could lead to one believing that something is a smoking gun. This is not what that is. This is an implication. This is an implication against Donald Trump, basically saying that Donald Trump was involved or Donald Trump knew of the solicitation, knew that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking young girls, which he essentially told you guys years ago. So it's not a nothing burger, right? If it's implied that Donald Trump had anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking ring, or had knowledge of it, if he's implicated in emails where for months, he tried to suppress, right? He tried to suppress the Epstein files being released. He tried to suppress, right, any credibility to these to this. He said it's a Democrat hoax. He called it a hoax. Whereas when he was running for president the second time, or the third time, he said that he would release the files day one. So we have to pull our head out of our asses, y'all. See, a lot of us have our heads in our asses and our ass in the sand. Okay, so we are double blind and double deaf to the realities. Okay, it's not a fucking nothing burger. Anybody that's telling you that is being intellectually dishonest, or they're idiots. Those are only two ways, or they're trying too hard to appear to be objective, to appear to be, oh well, I'm trying to be super logical. I'm Mr. Super Logic Man. It's not a fucking nothing burger, right? If you look at the timeline, and you walk through the timeline and you look at everything that happened leading up to this, how could you call it a nothing burger? If Donald Trump and his entire administration, if his Department of Justice, if all these individuals involved in around Donald Trump and Donald Trump himself is trying to keep this shit from coming out, or trying to question the credibility of it and try to tell you, oh, this is a Democratic hoax, and then this comes out and then you're like, oh, this is a nothing burger. How could you call it a nothing burger? Right? Because no one calls it that when Bill Clinton is implicated, right? No one on Donald Trump's side, no one on the right side of the spectrum is telling you, oh, well, Bill Clinton has been implicated. That it's not. They're not telling you it's not a nothing burger. They're not telling you that. And this is where I have a problem, because even people that I feel should know better are not doing better, right? I'm very surprised when Brian Young from High Impact Flicks and the disturbing illusion, and this guy tells you it's a nothing burger. He agrees with Alex Jones that it's. I'm like, what? How could you say this? I mean, salute to Jonathan Simon. Salute to you, bro. To call it a nothing burger is asinine. Because and it's not just Brian from mine, it's other individuals. We have been how long have we been covering? How long have I been covering this? I gave you guys ever since May, right? I'm giving you guys a breakdown of the timeline. Like, what? Donald Trump said he would release the files. And then when he gets hit with the pressure to release the files, his DOJ is telling you, oh, there's nothing to show that we can prosecute anybody else. There's no evidence to prosecute anybody else surrounding this Epstein case. Then he tells you, oh, it's a Democrat hoax. There are no files. There is no client list. We went through this whole shit. We went through this whole thing. And then the emails get released that talks about how Donald Trump knew and that he asked Ghislaine Maxwell to stop. I need you to stop trafficking young girls. I need you to stop recruiting young girls to be trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. I need you to stop. And you're saying, oh, it's a nothing burger. What the? I'm confused. It's not a nothing burger. And it's not a smoking gun. It's not evidence. It's not solid evidence. But it's enough to investigate. Is it not? It's enough to call for an investigation. It's enough to tell our so-called representatives and our so-called Justice Department to investigate. How is it not? I'm not saying oh, no, this ain't shit. I'm not saying, oh, this is solid evidence that Donald Trump was involved or knew about it. I'm saying, well, this is a dot. This is a dot. We have multiple dots going back years. This is another dot to connect. So we connect this dot to previous dots so that in the future, when more dots pop up, we can follow that and we can connect those dots. We're connecting dots here. So this is not a dot. It's not a relevant dot. Now, both sides are playing games with y'all. Okay, you got the left. They're releasing emails that implicate Trump. And then now you got the right. They're releasing emails that implicate other people on the left, including Bill Clinton. So it's not just two emails that came out. Multiple emails came out. You see, because at the end of the day, it's not a left or right thing. It's not the left that's involved in this trafficking. It's not the right that's involved in the trafficking. It's not exclusive to one side. No. When it comes to sexually deviant behavior involving children, there is no limit. There is no, well, if you're on the left, you're automatically an angel and you don't want to touch children. You don't want to participate in this nasty behavior. And you're not aware of Jeffrey Epstein doing this shit. And on the right, it's not the same. It's not, oh, well, it's only on the right. The Republican Party is the party of pedophiles. This is asinine. Because Alan Dershowitz was implicated. He's a fucking Democrat. If you weren't aware. Bill Clinton is a fucking Democrat. These are realities. Prince Andrew, who was just basically removed from the royal family, had stripped of all his titles. Because guess what? You guys know what Prince Andrew did? Not only was he implicated, well, guess what? He started paying money to the victims. Yeah, he settled with the victims. There was a lawsuit. And when you look at that, when the royal family looks at that, it's like, okay, you claim you're innocent, but you're paying the victim. You don't want to fight this. You have all the resources in the world to prove your innocence, or to actually, you have all the money in the world to defend against their claims that they had to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you were involved. But instead, this is what you're doing. Yes, England punished him, but not enough. All he did was Prince Charles his residences. He's not being punished. This is all a show. He's scared they are going to lock his lord up. And Bill lost his job for getting hit. He didn't lose his job. Bill Clinton didn't lose his job. What? He completed his what? He's done. What does that have to do with price of gas? I don't know. I don't understand the question. Donald Trump was implicated with being involved or having knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's behavior going back years. Donald Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for trying to recruit girls. Because I forgot who that lady was. I don't think it was Pam Bondi. I think it was somebody else. That was part of the Justice Department that said Donald Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he knew he was a pedophile. Donald Trump knew, according to his own people, that Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile. You don't blow my spot up. Bill was impeached. He kept his job through the whole term. Yeah, What are we talking about? Donald Trump knew. It was over a land deal. Well, you heard that. Yeah, we know. Yeah, the land deal, whatever the fuck. Yes. Did Jeffrey Epstein buy houses from up underneath Donald Trump in Palm Beach? What? So what? Two things can be true at the same time. The fact of the matter is, there is evidence. There are things around this whole situation where Donald Trump knew that Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile, at the very least. Because he said himself that Jeffrey Epstein likes him young, did he not? This is the president of the United States. This is the guy who created this whole MAGA movement. And MAGA is turning against him. Trump was in on it as well. That is the implication. That was their relationship with the little girls. Someone says, go Trump. King wannabe. I don't understand what you're talking about. So what am I going to do about it? Well, what I'm doing right now is I am making you guys aware that this is not a nothing burger, that it's not a smoking gun, but that Donald Trump knew that Jeffrey Epstein was at the very least a pedophile, and he likely knew that he was running a child sex trafficking ring. Many people knew this, right? Many people throughout the years. Jeffrey Epstein, the way he operated, he was a power broker. He says, wait, Rock Hype says snitching is cool now. Yeah, when you snitch on a goddamn child sex trafficker, hell yeah, it's cool. Yes, snitching on a child sex trafficker is cool. But you know what's cooler than that? When you find out beyond a shadow of a doubt that that child sex trafficker is indeed a child sex trafficker, you remove him from this earth. That is cooler than snitching. Salute to William Macaulay. Yeah, that's why I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Latressa Montgomery, salute to you, Queen. Everything will be exposed. Yes. Snitching is just basic courtesy to report illegal activities. First of all, it's not snitching if you're not a participant in that criminal activity, then you're not a snitch. I will, let me find out that a child predator is child preditizing. If I find out they are going to be removed from this earth, that's cooler than snitching. So my hope is when I catch somebody doing this, or if I have an awareness, I will not be snitching. John Toomey says, you better not catch me hanging around schools. Why would I hang around a school? It's not snitching, it's reporting. If you're a civilian who is not participating in a criminal enterprise, then you are reporting a crime. You're not snitching. There is a difference. Remove him. Remove who? Remove who? Because I don't have solid evidence that Donald Trump is a child sex trafficker or a child pedophile. I don't have any proof of that. And I can't get to him. It wouldn't be up to me. You think Trump, don't you? I don't know what that means, John Toomey. What's even cooler is no kids being, yes, you're right. Rafatak. What's cooler is children not being that way at all. But guess what? That's not a reality. The reality is children are being victimized every minute of every day, every second of every day. Children are coming up missing all the time and they're being trafficked. That is the reality. Salute to Slim Hussein in the building. Shani Henry says these men in your comments need to be on the watch list. If they are agreeing with this, if they're defending Trump, and if they're defending, listen, I hope your children are smarter than you. Me too. That is my hope as well. I agree. I hope my children are smarter than me. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes. Who wouldn't want their children to be smarter than them? Richie Dub says, if you snitched on Epstein, you ended up dead. Well, not really, not necessarily. Did some individuals die that had knowledge of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing? Absolutely. But that should not prevent anybody from who was aware from snitching on him. You have to risk death. Yeah. Democrats are pure scum. Well, Democratic politicians, Democratic representatives, Washington, D.C., that calls themselves our representatives, that calls themselves our president, our mayors, our governors, that take money from AIPAC, that take money from these lobbyists and these corporatists, these corporate welfare recipients and special interest groups and bankers are scum. They're all scum. And this is what we need to be aware of, because voting is not going to help us. Voting just helps them. Why is Maxwell in jail for a crime with no victim to testify against her? Because she basically took a plea deal. But now she's in Club Med and she's sending a request. She wants to get pardoned by Donald Trump. There are good points on both sides. A lot of people who are on the right don't want men wearing dresses. Well, you're talking about the proletariat class on the left and the right. They are just falling into the psychological operation. They believe in the left-right paradigm lie that has been presented to us by our government to give us the impression that we have a say in what goes on. We don't have a say. There's this guy. Somebody reacts. He is a Jamaican American, I guess. I forgot his name, but he does content. He reacts to things. I think he's a liberal. He says the bigger the government, the better, because he has been misguided and he doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about. I forgot his name. Somebody reacts. He is a reaction channel. I tend to like some of his content, but whenever he pushes this big government bullshit, I want to smack him upside the head with reality. Not physically, but with reality. Right? Because he talks about, well, when FDR created all these social programs, things became better for America. That it grew government. It created more government agencies to do this and do that. And when the bigger the government gets, the more the power spreads out amongst more people. And this, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The government grew, and you think that created more prosperity in the United States. So he's talking about social programs like food stamps, unemployment, all these different things. The government, you got to create more agencies. But the service that they provide is asinine and crappy. And what did that do to the black family structure? When the government grew and there was assistance, what they gave women a choice, black women a choice. And what did black women choose? I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna do a whole nother live stream on that nonsense. Anyway. But the bottom line is, Donald Trump was implicated in these emails. That one said that he spent hours with a victim. And another said that he knew that he was not part of he was not a member, but he was a participant. He was not a member, but he had knowledge of. Did Virginia Jeffrey say that Donald Trump did nothing to her and wasn't inappropriate and all these different things? Absolutely. But if he was aware of it and turned a blind eye to it, well, that makes him just as bad as the people that actually participated, because he turned a blind eye to it. Slim Hussein says, y'all can't be serious with these questions. The same way police don't tell on their own precinct, even when their law enforcement are breaking the rules. So this guy thinks that larger government created prosperity. But where are we at now? Because this large government has been consistent since those programs began. And it grew even larger because there are more agencies. But look at where it's at now. Do y'all actually believe that there is more balance of power, that there is an even distribution of power amongst people that are controlling the government? No, it's still a very small group of people. The elite class that actually control this country, that actually control the government, well, that didn't get bigger. No, the power did not get distributed. What caused the crash? Who caused the crash? The bankers. The bankers, with the way they were manipulating the economy ever since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. 1913, and then what? 16 years later. Well, not 16 years later. 29 minus 13. What is that? Yeah, 16 years later. Do you really believe Donald Trump did not know? No, I believe that Donald Trump did know. I've been believed that, but not just Donald Trump. All those guys up there, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, right? All these motherfuckers knew. They all knew. They all know. Now they're playing games. And when they release Podesta, exactly, John Podesta, Pizzagate, yes. Will the Pope don't even listen? Do you guys understand? Candace Owens did her live stream last night, and she talked about how the Calvary Chapel has a number of individuals who have been charged with, pedophilia and all these different things. And she pointed out how one guy in California got caught up, got arrested, got charged, and was convicted, and was given the maximum sentence. Y'all know what the maximum sentence was? What's the maximum sentence of that behavior at that point in time in California? No, I can't connect Joe Biden and Jeffrey Epstein, but I believe he knew. $8 years. That's it. 8 years. Do you guys understand why the maximum sentence would be so short for a child rapist? Think about that. Salute the Fresh Melodic says, "Hi, Freedom. I can tell you, real stand-up man. I definitely respect you and can tell you don't play." No, I don't play Freedom. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never have found out. Do you want to take the most wealthy and powerful people in the world? Bags not. Do you want to take on? Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I want to take them on? This is why I do what I do. Would I be alone? Or would you guys join in on the fight? Would you guys join the march toward freedom? I'm not afraid of the elite class. Yeah, they got all the money and the power. But guess who they need to have that power over. They need us. They need us to comply. They need us to consent. All we got to do is remove that. Fresh Mulata says, I'll join my light-skinned brothers. Salute to you, Fresh Mulata. Good day to you, Magic. Why should I fear them? Supreme being 9 Ether Mansa Musa L says, absolutely correct, Freedom. What's the solution? Well, first you have to become self-sufficient. Yeah. First, you have to become self-sufficient as possible and remove yourself as much as possible. Become independent, become sustainable, self-sustainable, and be prepared to defend that, because once they realize that you are, they will come for you, right? If it gets large enough people do that on a large enough scale, they will come after you, like goddamn Tulsa, like goddamn Rosewood, like goddamn in Florida. You got to be prepared to defend that. And guess what? You might get wiped out. But that's not the point, is it? Many people may not survive, but that's not the point. Fresh Mulata says, I plan on living off grid. Me too. Sound of Truth says, but bro, if they had something on Trump, it would have been. Not, that's not true, because it's not just Donald Trump that they are protecting. Donald Trump is not who they're protecting by not releasing these files. That's not who they're protecting. So like I said, they're protecting a number of elite motherfuckers. It's not just Donald Trump. This is what we have to understand. Yes, the Biden administration had the list, had the Epstein files, but no one talked about it. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly, Sound of Truth, and did nothing. But these are the games they play. Why? Because in 2028, they want a Democrat to take over. And then they want to do things. They want to progress on their mission and on their agenda under a Democratic presidency after 2028. Right. So they need to make Trump appear to be he turned his back on MAGA. Donald Trump is defending letting hundreds of thousands of Chinese motherfuckers come over here and go to college. Remember I talked about that months ago? He was defending it last night or yesterday. Well, if we don't let these we don't let them come over here, then we'll lose blah blah blah. Laura Ingraham said so. So what? He's defending bringing hundreds of thousands of Chinese spies into the United States. And he said, oh, well, get over it. Yeah, he said he don't give a shit. It's about the money. Well, we need the money. This is what Donald Trump did. The H-1B visas or HB1 visas. Yeah. What did he say? He said, well, we ain't got enough talented motherfuckers here. That's what he said. Oh, we don't have the talent in the United States. We need talented people to come from other nations. He completely flipped. Trying to make most of the MAGA merch. I'm not Indian. Oh, well, indigenous, if you mean Native American. Thank you. I appreciate that. $100,000 per application. That's a lot of money. Latressa Montgomery, he didn't sell the country. He's just the face. They've been selling the country. It's going to be fine, says Kenny. I have indigenous blood in my veins. Yes. I have indigenous blood. I got black blood, indigenous blood. My grandmother is European. But see, indigenous is not just red. They're red indigenous and black indigenous right here in this country, right? Our ancestors. But they won't tell you that. They'll tell you the first black person to ever step foot on this land they call the United States of America was brought over by Europeans. That's not true. Someone says, listen to my ignorance. De-ignorify me. Help me not be ignorant. Help me not be ignorant. What am I ignorant about? Black folks are already here. It's not false. The oldest human skull ever found, the oldest human skull, over, I think it was 10,000 years old, was that of a black person. It was a skull of a black person. What they call a negroid. Yeah. The bottom line is this, you guys. Melatonin was an anomaly, or we still in the 20th century? Melatonin. The sleep hormone? Do you mean melanin? Yes. Supreme Being 90th. Mansa, is that you, Mind of Mansa Musa? What's the argument? I'm just talking about people. I'm talking about how Donald Trump has been implicated in either participating or having knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's child sex trafficking ring. Oh, never mind, Supreme Being. There's a mod that I have. His name is Mind of Mansa Musa, and I'm trying to tell you guys, there are people that will say that this is a nothing burger or a smoking gun. It's neither, but it's at the very least an implication, and it should be investigated. MTG now going after Trump to expose his pedophilia, but a little too late. Yeah, it's never too late. We just have to be prepared to do something about it, right? Or demand something be done about it. Oh, you're a different being? That's what's up. Salute to you, Christy. I appreciate you. Well, it's not breaking news, but people tend to forget, right? But I'm glad that this came out. I'm glad that these emails came out. See, they can't fool me. Michael Wolff was a reporter who got close to Jeffrey Epstein to help get an understanding of how deep the operation went. Oh, of course they wish we'd forget. It's been years at this point. Feel like it'll be another. Well, you see, that's because we're going to sit back and let the government straighten it out, right? Of course, it's going to take more years if we just sit back and say, all right, well, let the government do its job. No. We have to understand that we can't rely on government to administer justice in a proper manner. But again, there are ways to do it. There are ways to do it without raising a firearm, without doing any of that. But first, we have to become as self-sufficient as possible and in greatest number as possible. And once we do that, and we begin to decouple, then we'll have the power, we'll have the leverage. And when we have the leverage and the power, then we can do something about it. So that's something that we have to understand. We have to understand that The power they have is only because we have transferred power over ourselves to them in great numbers by letting the government do its job. And when they do some corrupt, foul shit, all we try to do is vote in a replacement. Oh, let's go vote. Oh, this government is corrupt. Let's go vote in another set of government people. That's not going to work. Start by not working for free. There are a lot of ways to do it. Work for yourself. Get into the position where you can work for yourself and not have to worry about nothing, unless you want to, unless you want to work for somebody. Someone says, I feel bad for you. I'm lost. Okay. Glenn Benton, you have not demonstrated how I'm lost or how I'm ignorant. You're making these claims, but where is just the substantiation? Anarchy is what I advocate? Yes. I do advocate for anarchy or violentism. Glenn Benton says debate. Okay. What do you want to debate? freedomsmarch80@gmail.com. We can set something up. What do you want to debate? True freedom is true anarchy. Absolutely. Yes, anarchy television. Absolutely right. No hierarchy. I didn't say no hierarchy. Anarchy is about no authority. It doesn't mean no structure. It doesn't mean no system. It doesn't mean no this and no that. I am True Will. Say, salute to you, brother. Salute to brother. I am True Will. Drop your link, brother. Y'all go check out I am True Will. But I don't think some of you guys are going to have the stomach for how I am True Will presents his information. You guys, some of you guys are going to, y'all going to fall out. But go check him out. But yeah, very knowledgeable. I am True Will, and he brings receipts. So you guys go check him out. Make sure you drop your link, brother. Y'all want some real shit? Go on ahead and handle that. Y'all go to I am True Will. I am True Will says, be like Nepal, seize the power and make these employee governments. Exactly. I am True Will. If y'all want government, well, guess what? Take the control back. That's really the point, right? Because the government is supposed to work for us. What is the government supposed to do? It's supposed to defend our freedoms and allow us to pursue happiness, blissfulness, whatever we want. And the government is supposed to work for us to defend that. But it does not. And guess what? When you get the government to work for you and you take control of it, it's no longer a government. It's a service. Yeah, it's a service. They are service providers. When they become service providers, they are no longer the government. You know, they are the service. They are your employees. They forgot about that. Spoken like a true American. Thank you. Oh, freedomsmarch80@gmail.com if y'all want to hit me up. But what do we actually want? What do you want, Mr. Midnight Green? If what you want causes no harm to anybody else, does not victimize anybody, or does not damage property or violate anyone else's rights, whatever you want, that's what you want. And if we want this system that's in place to work for the people, as it should, then guess what? The people need to take control back of their own power, and these people become a service provider for you. And guess what? Guess what that means? They can't control you. Tried and True says, you have beautiful eyes. Thank you. I appreciate that. But see, that's how it's supposed to work, right? That's why they raise their right hand, and this is why they swear in. When I joined the military, I had to swear in. I swore in, and I swore to defend the Constitution. I swore to protect against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is what I swore to do. Why did the Democrats vote to not release them? Oh, they did? I didn't know that. Why that's crazy? Well, because if they voted not to release the files, what does that tell you? I'm not a Marine. I was Army, but brother, I am Trill Will was a Marine. Do I have any investors? No, I don't have any investors. Prospect King. Why do you ask? I don't have any investors. I am Trill Will says John Thomas 4-0. They were under the seal. Okay, is that what happened, Trill Will? I'm not too hip on that right now. I haven't looked at it. I know they were supposed to vote to release the files. I don't know to what extent. I do know that the what they call that, the grand jury files were sealed, and the judge did not allow that to be unsealed. I do know that. Oh, it's absolutely bigger than Trump. I don't care. Listen, let me tell you guys my position. I don't care if those who were involved with Jeffrey Epstein's ring was Republican or Democrat. I just want to know who these motherfuckers were. And when we find out, guess what? It doesn't matter if they're left or right. They need to be hung in the town square. Point blank and period. Oh yeah. Okay, that's what's up. True. Yeah, they did use that. They will vote on it next week. Oh, I need to look that up. Can I do a backflip? No, I cannot. Golden Prospect says I'm looking for one or maybe two investors. I don't. Golden Prospect. I don't know why you're in my chat trying to get investors, but that's not what this is about. The bottom line is these files need to be released. We need to know who's on it. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. You know what party they belong to? They belong to the pedophile party, and they all need to be summarily executed. Summarily executed. Once they're convicted beyond a shadow of a doubt. They need to be summarily executed. Why? We don't even need to house these people, because that costs money. No. We just need to spend a little. You enjoy finding gold? I'm sure you do. No touching teens, don't touch anybody that don't want to be touched. No, don't touch anybody that don't want to be touched. Someone says quit lying. What am I lying about? There's no such thing as a U.S. citizen. I would agree with that. Most of the government has to go. I would agree with that as well. What's my ideology? Freedom. My ideology is the ideology of mind your own goddamn business and leave me the fuck alone. That's my ideology. If I'm minding my business, if I'm not harming anybody, if I'm not violating anybody else, leave me the fuck alone. I am True Will is crazy. But see, it's important to look at what we're dealing with, I am True Will. This is what we deal with. Why is everybody getting mad at me? Because I want Donald Trump to answer for why he knew that this was going on and did nothing about it. Why he said, oh, I'm going to release the files as soon as I'm president. And then he starts to actively suppress the files and has his DOJ suppressing the files. That's what I got a problem with. No, fuck all that. Miss C623, I appreciate you. Thank you. You funny. Thank you, Miss C623. I appreciate you. Lord Crimson says, I genuinely thought MAGA would have bailed on Trump by now. Well, the bottom line is we're social beings, right? You know what people want? All MAGA supporters want is a true leader and a representative that's going to fight for their needs, for what they feel they want. And they thought Donald Trump was the one. And they're still holding on to the hope that he's playing 18,000 D chess. No. He is the files. Oh, yeah. He is yep, absolutely. Slim Hussein says, no else. Oh, okay. I'm talking to somebody else. Melissa Jones says, I want true freedom, not fake freedom. Get rid of our government. They only put themselves first. Oh, absolutely. Aren't they trying to vote to get more money? Like they want to raise, don't they? It's crazy. They want to raise, they want to give money to Argentina. They want to give all this money to all these other countries. They give all these handouts to all these corporations and foreign nations and the banks and all that. But when people want to get food stamps, they get mad about it. Oh, it's a handout. The cost of the SNAP program is extremely minimal. Now, I don't agree with that necessarily, but I'd rather money go towards food stamps for the people who need it, to housing the homeless here in this country, to take care of veterans. I'd rather the money to go to that than to these foreign nations and these banks. And what are we doing? Why would we want to give more money to these the representatives? Argentina has minerals we need. What is that? What minerals do we need? What minerals do we need? It's a tiny fraction. Do I agree with relying on the government to feeding us? No, I don't. But I'd rather that if we're going to get extorted, I'd rather okay. Yeah, we're going to get extorted. Let's use that money to help the people right here in America. But we can't do that, can we? Lithium. Well, what do we need lithium for? What do we need lithium for? Think about it. What do we really need lithium? Necessity. Do you know what a need is? Do we really need all the things that we have? Batteries? What do we need a battery for? How does a battery sustain your life? How does a battery feed you? How does a battery... We don't really need these things. It's not... Do we want it? Is it a convenience? I Am True says, where's the accountability for Republicans? It's all the Dems' fault by themselves. No, it's not all the Dems' fault. Hell yeah, the Republicans, they're ass. The Republicans do need to be held accountable. They all need to be held accountable. All green energy things. So you need lithium for green energy? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Do you know what it takes to mine lithium and cobalt and all these different things? Do you know what it takes? It keeps your car running. Well, what were our cars running on before lithium batteries? Lithium is used to make a battery. So what? Do you need to charge your food with a battery? Do you need to charge your water before you drink it with a battery? Think about it. Do you really need these things that we destroy environments and displace animals and human beings for? I Am Sure, well, I would agree with you 100%. All Republicans are cowards and just corrupt as Trump. I would agree. I agree 100%. Slim who says, Trill, will you make, if you blanket statement of Republicans, you have to. And I agree with that as well, Slim Hussein. Democrats are corrupt. They're all corrupt. The independents in the House are corrupt. The libertarians are corrupt. They're all corrupt. Because even the independents and the libertarians, they have to caucus. Who do they caucus with? Well, 9 times out of 10, the independents, they caucus with the Democrats. 9 times out of 10, the libertarians, they caucus with the Republicans. Democrats want to pay illegals health care. That's not completely true. I Am True says establishment Democrats are just as bad as Republicans. Well, if you are a representative, if you are a congressperson, you are an establishment congressperson. That's just how it works because of the special interest groups, because of the banks, because of you have some representatives that don't take money from certain lobbyists or from certain special interest groups, but they still take money from corporations at the end of the day. If you are a representative in Congress, you are an establishment representative. That's just a reality. Because you can't get shit done if you don't join the establishment of either side. You're going to be a man on an island, and you're not going to get shit done anyway. You're going to be censored. You're going to be ostracized. You're going to have your title stripped from you and your responsibilities. They are going to make you impotent. Okay, so let's say there are some. If there are members in the Democratic Party that aren't establishment, there are also Republicans in Congress that aren't establishment. Like MTG, like AOC. Let's say, let's use 2 examples of either party, right? Well, wasn't the Squad supposed to be anti-establishment? But what did they do? They conceded and kowtowed to Nancy Pelosi because they did not want to be made to be useless. They go against the establishment. Eventually, they have to cave to the establishment in order to stay in their seats. Wasn't one of those people removed? One of the Squad members. I forgot their names. Look at what they did to Ilhan Omar. That whole scandal with the brother and marrying the brother and all this other nonsense. So, if there are non-establishment Democrats, there are non-establishment Republicans as well. Thomas Massie would be an example, right? If we're going to go there. Thomas Massie speaking out against AIPAC, speaking out against Medallion. What's that chick's name that gave Donald Trump millions of dollars? Thomas Massie is speaking out against what Trump's doing. Speaking out against Israel, speaking out against AIPAC, speaking out against this and that. And they're going after Thomas Massie. He would be considered a non-establishment Republican. So we can't play these games where, oh, well, it's only one side has all establishment and the other side has some non-establishment. No, they both would demonstrate that they have non-establishment members of their party. They are trying to remove Thomas Massie from his seat. What's her name? Medallion Adelson. What's that chick's name? Yes, but he's still a non-establishment Republican. He would be considered non-establishment. Yeah, he was on board until, well, that's how it's supposed to work, Trill Will. When your constituents get on your ass, you're supposed to work for your constituents. Yes, that's how that's supposed to work. Imagine if more Republicans and more Democrats took that position. Oh, my constituents don't like this. I better stop. I better start working for my constituents. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She broke from MAGA because her constituents were giving her the business. And she said, you know what? We got to get that cracking. True will. If the same could be said for the Democrats. How many of the what is it? How many? 212? How many Democrats? How many of those? They all listen. The number of listen is like I told you, the anti-establishment members are going to have a very small number, equaling little to no power. Grenade Plume says Thomas Massey just married a woman half his age, less than a year after his wife died. Is his wife a grown woman? Is his new wife grown? Is she, how old is she? Is she in her 30s or 20s? Lindsey Graham, and Lindsey Graham is a piece of shit. What can I say? The bottom line is we can't rely on these people. Even if they're anti-establishment in reality, and it's not just a game, or it's not just a dog and pony show. We can't rely on them to do shit. The bottom line is you cannot go in there and think you're going to make vast change to a system that has been established for over decades, right? Since it was hijacked in 1913, the 10 who voted against Al Green and Pelosi and Jeffries. That's 12 establishment versus the latter. Okay. It's still a small number. What I said was, if you have non-establishment Democrats, you also have non-establishment Democrats. They're non-establishment on both sides. The bottom line is the number is not going to matter unless they break and go with the other side and add votes to them to get shit done. Like when they reopened the government. When they reopened the government, 8 Democrats broke from their party to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government. How many of those were non-establishment? See, they make these maneuvers and they do these things to give you the impression that there is really something going on. Oh, look what they're doing. $200 Dems against Trump. That's how it works, Trill Will. That's how it works. Yeah, when they control, yes, that's how it works. Now, Donald Trump ran as a Republican, and he's running his presidency as a Republican. Yes, that's how it works. If it were reversed, it would be the same thing. When Joe Biden was president and they had the majority in Congress, that's how it worked. The Democrats were with Joe Biden and the Republicans were against him. That's how it works. Yes, that is the show that they give to you. That's the Kabuki theater. Both sides suck, only one sucks more. See, I would disagree with that. Turn from your own wicked ways. Salute to you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Queen. Just think about it. They do this. They keep this cycle going. This back and forth. Because they want to give you the impression that when one side is in power, certain things happen. And when the other side is in power, certain other things happen. To give you the impression that these changes actually make a real difference. When really what it does is, when they want to make small little changes and advance certain things, and they want to give you the impression that, oh, this is happening because of who you voted for, they'll make those changes. The Democrats said there will be another shutdown in January. They might very well be. Anyway, thank y'all for hitting the like button. I got to get to work. I got about 10 minutes. I am sure Will says the parties are not the same by no stretch. Both politicians are beholden to donors. Yes, and guess what? They are not the same because that's how they present it to you. They present you these differences so that they can give you the impression that there are differences. But at the end of the day, they both take money from the same PACs, the same special interest groups, and the same bankers, and the prison industrial complex, and the military industrial complex, the defense contractors, all these lobbies. They all give money to the same. They all give money across both sides. They don't choose a side. When those people up in there lobbying, they don't choose a side. They go to both. They say, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to make this happen. I need you to vote for this and vote for that. I need you to present. They give proposals. They present proposals to bring to the floor. Do you know we could do that if we wanted to? We could present bills, and we can present bills to Congress for them to bring to the floor for a vote. We could do that. We could do that. This is what these people do. And they not only do they give them donations, they also give them positions on boards. When they're done with their done with their seat, when they retire, they get a nice cushy little job that they don't even have to work for. They can go play golf and they get their check. Their children, their family members, they get positions in these corporations. They wheel and deal up there to make shit happen for them. But they don't do that for us. So these so-called representatives, they represent the corporations, the special interest groups, the bankers, the banking corporation, the mafia banks. That's who they work for. Anyway, I gotta go, y'all. This has been great talk. Yeah. Now that I'm working from home, so this is great. I just got my green screen in. I'm going to start doing some presentations from my computer so I can show you guys things. I'm trying to get all the bells and whistles going so that I could give you guys some better presentations. I'll still do things in the car, but I'll still do my riding talks, my rucking lives and all that stuff. But I'll also be giving you guys a different angle as well. So salute to you guys. I'll holler at y'all later. Much love. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Like, share, subscribe. And guess what we're going to do, y'all? We're going to keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. And one day, we will achieve it. And then when we do, when we get to that place, it'll be Freedom's Landing. Look out for Freedom's Landing coming to you guys in the near future. When I get myself in that position, as much as I can, Freedom's Landing will be coming to you guys. Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Peace.